So it looks like you got a new rhythm going on here.
I explained to him what it is.
Yeah, this atrial fibrillation which sort of caught me off guard. So
Could it be an irregular thing and we can check it again later and see if it's still doing the same thing, or how's that work?
So we're thinking about putting a monitor on you to see if it, if it's coming and going,
Okay.
or see if you're staying more in AFib. Because so far the 2 visits we've had with each other, you've been in normal rhythm.
Yeah.
So this is the first time. But here's the thing. I'm just a messenger. You can make up your own decision, but based on your history of your heart condition, your blood pressure, diabetes as well, you're sort of a relatively high risk of having a stroke with atrial fibrillation. Not everybody with atrial fibrillation are created equal. Some people who have none of those issues and just purely AFib or atrial fibrillation, you can get away with just a full dose aspirin. But somebody who's got risk factors like yourself, they're going to have a little bit higher chance of having a stroke.
Like I told you.
And so that's why she's talking about going on a blood thinner. But if you want to wait and see what it looks like a monitor, we can do that. But ultimately, long term, it's not going to change what I think is best for you.
Mm-hmm.
The best option would be, go on a blood thinner, like the ones you see on the commercial. Well, I don't know, in Canada they don't do too many commercials.
Well, we get some of the challenges.
He knows about
States.
that.
Yes.
But those more expensive.
Those are my preference because you don't have to monitor them. You just take it once or twice a day, depending on which of the 3 new ones that you'll start on. The second best option, which is going to be as good as the first option, it will be as aspirin, a regular size aspirin.
Okay.
But it's not going to be good enough to protect you, I think, in my opinion, from having a stroke. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to have a stroke if you don't take any of these medications.
But it's like up to 4%.
It is not. It's just that you're just a relatively high risk. Relatively, you have a 4% chance every year to have a stroke, compared to less than 0.4 or 0.3% chance.
Okay.
So if you go up from 0.3 to 4% relatively, that's a big jump. But if you go from an absolute standpoint of view, you're still scoring 96%. You're still scoring an A. But that's not how we look at it.
Okay.
So that's how, if it was me in your shoes, I would be upset. I would be, that I'm in atrial fibrillation. I wouldn't be too happy about it. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
And you have to deal with it. And if I was in your shoes, I would be on like Eliquis or something like that.
Okay.
So, okay. What she's going to try to do is going to increase your corbetalol because your heart's going a little bit fast right now.
Okay.
It's not totally too fast, but we need to put you back on, and we need to increase the corbetalol because corbetalol can also slow down your heart rate. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to one of my partners who's an electrophysiologist, an electrician of cardiology, see ultimately what would be the best plan for you long term. Okay? Because there's many things we can do, but some of these medications long term can carry side effects.
Yeah.
Not the blood thinner. I'm talking
Almost every medication.
Yeah. No, well, every medication.
I'm talking about, you can look up any medication, it's going to have it.
But the best medication for you to stay out of this rhythm is probably going to be like amiodarone. But amiodarone is not a very good medication, especially a young patient like yourself, to be on the long term because it has a lot of iodine. It causes a lot of side effects. So we might consider that down the road for short term. Yeah. But I don't want, or Tycosine is another choice. But we'll have to talk about this a little bit more. We'll talk to our electrician cardiologist and go from there. But the easiest thing to do is just go up a little bit higher in the corbetalol because that can also bring down your heart rate. Okay. And start the blood thinner.
Because I thought my heart was slower.
It was slow when you're not in atrial fibrillation, but right now you're in a new rhythm. This new rhythm typically goes fast, and it creates blood clots. So those are the 2 big issues. Right now you're in atrial fibrillation. Your heart rate is 100 to 110 beats per minute just sitting here. But when you're in normal rhythm, your heart rate is like 50, 55 beats per minute.
Okay.
it's gonna be a little bit difficult. So that's why, you know, I was like banging my head against the wall when I found out you were an AFib, because now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna control your heart rate when you're back in normal rhythm. Because once you go back into normal rhythm, which might happen, you might slow down too much, because now we've increased your corvetto.
Yes.
So I think the easiest thing to do is, in my opinion, but I'm gonna talk with my partner, is to do a procedure to try to get rid of it permanently. That's called an ablation. But that's not an urgent procedure, that's something we think about down the road.
Okay.
Okay?
And what exactly is that?
You use a small catheter, you go up through a vein, and you go up to the heart and burn out the rhythm. And try to get rid of it permanently. Because all these things we're doing, we're just masking the problem.
Okay, this vein thing, don't they go all like this? How you gonna, just go from here to here?
It's amazing. It's a pretty cool thing, but yeah, you can go all the way up to the heart. Yeah. But let's do the simplest thing first,
Yes.
and we'll go from there.
All right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. So, I'll take it.
Okay.
And
all right.
what is that?
Yeah.
Okay, so where do you buy medications?
Walmart.
In Mount Vernon?
Yeah.
Okay, because I have to send it there.
Okay.
I will increase the dose of carvedilol, okay?
Mm,
Why don't we do tablet and half twice a day, okay?
okay.
I'm not going too high. So why don't you do... One, two, three tablets.